Well, we were talking about just one company today, really, Carbine 911, and how they stand to benefit from this alleged crisis that we're being told is imminent and was previously gamed out by cyber reason and things like that. But what we'll be getting into in our next video is that there are some other companies beyond Carbine 911 that also have very unsettling ties to intelligence, including US intelligence, UK intelligence is another big one that we'll be showing in the next video, and also Israeli intelligence once again, all poised to be the solution to the allegedly imminent cyber attacks from hostile state actors that we are set to experience. And it's worth pointing out too, since we began the video with that testimony, remember back to September 11th, 2001, we were told that the boogeyman, the people allegedly responsible per the official narrative for that, and also initially for the anthrax attacks, right? It was a state actor, Iraq, and it was this ragtag group of extremists, Al-Qaeda, right? And so what we have again now, we have this setup of these domestic extremist groups who are, want to create chaos, allegedly, right? Well, this reminds me of something else the red team said for that they said it's cyber reason, that it was about they said they were ethical hackers and they didn't like how democracy was playing out, so they wanted to uproot it. Remember, there's this ideology called accelerationism that mainstream media frequently associates with quote unquote neo-Nazis or white supremacists. They want to accelerate the collapse of the system by doing something just like that excuse that cyber reasons ethical hackers gave, right? So it's interesting to see these claims that the next 9/11 is going to be, this ragtag group of domestic extremists, while at the same time the cyber attack narrative has been set up to occur at the same time with nation state actors. And as we've covered on previous shows, there is an effort to link these groups specifically, these domestic groups specifically to Iran, and the glue they're using to try and stick these groups together, because as I said earlier in the show, it makes no sense for white supremacists, if they really are white supremacists, to go and work with Iran, right? But they're going to claim that the glue that binds them is anti-Semitism. And it's interesting that that is the narrative that is being set up, and look at the extreme involvement of Israeli intelligence specifically in what's being set up here. Really crazy. So anyway, for that second video, we're going to be going into some of these other companies and also focusing specifically on Pennsylvania, specifically the city of Philadelphia, which has been seeded to be the epicenter of 2020 election chaos for well over a month now. And that's how on an interview I did on Sunday, I mentioned that. Now I'm having people say I predicted the unrest in Philadelphia. I think what's going on in Philadelphia right now is honestly the warm up based on a lot of the research that I've accumulated about that over the past week or so. So the second video will be going into all of that, how Philadelphia is the ground zero, the epicenter, it has the bullseye right over it. All of these buzzwords being used to describe Philadelphia just over the past month, different experts, different state officials, all using the same buzzwords in a litany of different articles, all very odd. So, that and some other revelations and ties to the usual suspects in relation to what's going on in Philadelphia right now. We'll be getting into that in the next video.
Yeah, and I recommend you guys all tune in, because I hope she mentioned this on Slow News Day, but Whitney and I have been talking about this. She's been tweeting things about this well before there was anything even starting there. And it's not because she's psychic, it's because she's researching this stuff and seeing the way that they're playing these things out. And they tend to, I mean, it's almost jokingly that they tend to do the same old thing over and over. And it's very clear that they're playing these same efforts in the same ways. And as you just laid out, the tie over to 9/11 and the Al-Qaeda aspect, it's exactly, they've got, as the joke I've made in the past, they've got play 1, 2, and 3, and they just vary it up, and they just, and it's what we're seeing today. And so